Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be making a classic coconut cake. So y'all, my dad is low-key the inspiration for a lot of my sweets. Coconut is like one of his all-time faves. So I was like, I have to make this cake. And you know, we are nearing the end of the summer, borderline fall, so you know, let's get the tropical vibes out the way. So this is loaded with coconut inside and out. So I really enjoyed this recipe. It has, you know, heavy coconut in the cake and in the frosting. So let's get into it. So I started with some cake flour to a medium-sized bowl, and like we always do, we want to get our dry ingredients together first. So I'm going to add in baking powder. And then we're just going to go ahead and sprinkle that in. Of course, baking soda and a pinch of salt. And this is not a half of a teaspoon. It's just a pinch. That's just what I use. I'm going to whisk those together. And like always, all of the measurements and ingredients will be listed down in the description box below. So once we have that whisked all together, I had to pull out, you know, my stand mixer. I have some unsalted butter, granulated sugar, and then with our stand mixer we're going to add in our paddle attachment, and then we're going to beat this for 3 to 5 minutes until nice and, you know, silky like combined. So once that is done, it should look just like this. As you can see, the butter actually turned nice and white. So scrape down your sides. I gave it just a little bit more of a stir, and then I added in my egg whites. So y'all, this recipe was, you know, off of a whim, and I did use store-bought egg whites because honestly I didn't have time to be separating yolks, and then what I'm gonna do with the yolks afterwards. So what I did notice immediately is that it changed the texture of our butter and sugar combo, but do not worry, it will come together at the end, so don't panic if you see that. So we're gonna add in our sour cream, and then also keep in mind that all of my ingredients are at room temperature. Gonna add in a splash of vanilla extract. That just, you know, follow your ancestors. We have some coconut extract, and you see that texture really changing, and I got a little scared, low key, ain't gonna lie, but y'all trust the process, I promise. Okay, so once that is done, you're gonna start incorporating your dry ingredients. So how I do it, I kind of do half of the dry ingredients, and then I just use a spatula to go ahead and scoop that in. Look at the texture coming together. I told you it will, don't be scared. Okay, so once that got well incorporated, the milk for this recipe is actually coconut milk. So I added, you're gonna alternate between your wet ingredients, dry ingredients. So I added our flour mixture, then add a little bit of coconut, but you want to start with your dry and also end with the dry. So once you have everything added, you are again going to scrape down your bowl, and then you're just gonna give it a final mix for about 10 to 15 seconds just to make sure everything else was well incorporated. And then I'm going to fold in our coconut flakes. So these are sweetened coconut flakes. And the recipe calls for a cup. But again, it's your cake. You add, if you love coconut, add a little more. What's going to happen, you know? So I have my 9-inch baking pans that I'm spraying down with the Baking Pam non-stick spray, because we don't need our cakes sticking to our pans, okay? So be generous. Don't be, you know, don't be shy. And I'm going to go ahead and try my best to equally distribute. The batter failed. As you can see, once I got to the last cake pan, child, she was hungry. Look, still see plenty of pan. So don't panic. All I did was take batter from the first pan, which is running over. And I just, you know, made them as equal as possible. It won't be perfect. This was a cake from my house. So, you know, the Lord knows my heart. We'll be fine. So you want to beat out any air bubbles just to make sure you don't have any holes in your cake. And then I baked on 350 for 45 to 50 minutes, contingent upon your oven. So I will say that honestly, the 50-minute mark was a little too long. I felt like I let these cakes bake a little too long, but nonetheless, what happened with that one, don't know. But we're gonna make it do what it do. Okay, so let these cool, and we're gonna start on our coconut cream cheese frosting. So I started with softened butter, unsalted, and cream cheese, and then we're gonna whip out our stand mixer again, and we're gonna beat that until it's nice and incorporating and nice and silky. And as you can see, again, it changed colors. So once you get to this point, you are going to add in your vanilla, and then we're going to go back in with our coconut extract, and then a pinch of salt. Again, I think that was a fourth teaspoon, but I didn't feel it. Just a pinch of salt. Okay, so I don't sift my flour, don't got time. Pull half the bag right on in there, and went ahead and mixed that up. And then you want this to kind of come together before adding your next round of confectionate sugar. Did I say flour? It's confectionate sugar. If I did say flour, I'm sorry. So yeah, got that nice and smooth. Added in the rest of the sugar, and then I used heavy whipping cream as my thinning agent for this. If you want to use the remainder of your coconut milk, you can do that also, but I just thought that the heavy whipping cream would, you know, give it a little more thickness, so I used heavy whipping cream. Boom. Coconut cream cheese frosting. Get into it. All right, let's build this cake. You know, when you see this cake stand, we almost done. So you want to start off with frosting on the bottom, and this just ensures that your cake does not do the cha-cha slide while moving it around your kitchen. Okay, so thin layer of icing, and we are going to equally distribute that around the cake layer before adding our next layer of cake. We have 3. So you're just going to repeat this process over and over. And this, you know, it's your cake, especially if it's for a cake at home. Do as you please. It ain't got to be perfect. It ain't got to be super leveled and all that other good jazz. We are literally just building this for our house, and something that our families can enjoy. Now, if you have a business, different story, but you know, let the spirit lead you. Last cake, we're going to flip that over. So as you can see, it's a lot of gap in between the cake and the icing. I put our frosting into a piping bag, and I'm going to go in and fill in all of those creases and crevices with our cream cheese frosting. And what this will do is kind of structure our cake, basically, and make sure that, you know, our cake is standing up straight, because even though it's for the house, you don't want no leaning tower. We're not doing that. You want it to look nice in your cake though. So I did that, and I'm just gonna press in that frosting just to make sure that we're structured. And I missed spots, no worries. Go back in, and then I'm going to, and as you can see, the cake is like wobbling. I normally freeze my cakes before I build it. I don't know why I didn't, but as you can see, the cake is wobbling. So I did put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, and that's why it looks a little settled here, but it will prevent the wobbleness of me decorating the cake. So after I guess you can call it a crumb coat, not really, half a crumb coat, I put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, and then now I'm going to put the final layer of icing. So I want y'all to have fun with this part, because at the end of the day, we're going to add coconut flakes to the outside of the cake. So the frosting does not have to be perfect. I personally, while eating cake, I like a lot of frosting. I like my frosting to cake ratio to low-key be 50-50. So do with that as you will. You can put as little or as much as you like. So I loaded this cake with frosting, as you can see. So we're really just gonna try and smooth it out and make sure that the frosting is actually sticking to the cake. That's the goal. I'm not looking for perfection here at all. I'm literally just frosting the cake. Okay. So I'm gonna go in with a bench scraper just to kind of flatten out the sides of the cake. Again, I'm not striving for perfection because we are going to load the sides up with shaved coconut flakes, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just gonna level off the sides, and then we are going to add in our coconut flakes. By the way, this song is from Lil Tsp. It's called Frosty. I will leave that linked in my description box as well. So I have our shredded coconut, and then one thing that I did not do, I should have been like separating, because you can see it's kind of like clumped together. So do that as you pull it out the bag. So I started with the top, leveled off the top, and then I started working my way down on the sides. This is a little tedious, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. So you can see like whatever excess that fell down, I kind of swung it around to the other side of the cake, and I kind of used that for the base, just so I wasn't just being ridiculous with the amount of coconut flakes that I was using. So utilize whatever excess falls down to, you know, finish up on the sides of the cake. But this takes some time. So again, it does not have to be perfect, but you do want majority of the cake. Now, you're not going to get every single piece of crust, you know, filled with coconut flakes, and that's fine. But just do your best to just kind of press in. So I get a handful, press in whatever falls. I let that create like my next handful, and then I just go back in, press in, press in, press in. She's ready. Boom. Just like that, she's done. So the OCD in me, you see how like it's sticking outward? So I had to push that in. And I just used my hands to kind of press it so that it wasn't, yeah, I got a problem. But she's done. She's ready. If you wanted to toast a little bit of coconut just to give the cake like some dimension, you can do that too. But like I said, this is for my house. This is about to be demolished. And yeah, so let's cut into her. Let's see what she is giving. And then, of course, I have to give you guys my honest review. So this cake was actually really tall. I don't know why. Very, like, I couldn't close my cake dome after this. So make sure that you have either wider pans or a tall cake dome, because she was giving very much bigger than the rest of her class. Okay, so guys, the cake was good. The only thing that I feel like I did again was overcooked it, and then the next time I would simple syrup it just a little bit, because I'm used to my cakes being extremely moist. But the cake is given 9 out of 10 for sure. So let me know what other recipes you guys want to see down in the comment section below, and let me know if you give this cake a try. Okay, so we're ending the summer vibes, coconut vibes, you know. I will see you guys on the next video. And again, thank you for your continuous support. Bye.